Janine is a keynote speaker, educator and author, and leads by example, inspiring others to create, influence and lead a fulfilled life. Sure, you'll enjoy the conversation. Lovely to have you here, Janine. Welcome.
Oh, it's fabulous to be here, Kerryn. Thanks for the opportunity to chat.
It's great. As I explained, we first met at a little black dress networking event quite some years ago, and since then I've been following you, and I have enjoyed your books and just learnt about your tough mudders and your Spartan race and the challenge of teenagers. So you know, life is full and busy. So it's really nice to have a chance to have a conversation with you. So
it's great to be here. It really is.
So with COVID, that's probably really got in the way of your plans and for launching the book. So I was delighted to be able to jump in and help you with launching the book. And how did that idea come about to launch the book with a team?
It was literally somebody challenged me. So at the beginning of when COVID-19 hit, I did enter into this massive period of self-doubt. I mean, launching a book about being brilliant in a period of time where there is so much uncertainty and anxiety happening economically, globally, health with the pandemic, and now what we're seeing socially in terms of the race conversations and protests. I was literally going, well, who on earth is going to want to read a book about becoming brilliant? And I did have a moment of absolute meltdown, Kerryn. I was like, tears, going, oh my God, all this hard work. Because writing a book doesn't happen overnight. It literally was 18 months of research and hard work and blood, sweat and tears. And as you're picking up in the book, there's a lot of vulnerability in this book and a lot of personal stories. So it was quite a journey to get there. And then suddenly for the world around me to fall apart, was like, oh Lordy, what am I going to do? And with that, you know, stores shutting, no distribution. In terms of how I launched my second book, It's Who You Know, we took airport stores and we had displays and book launches. None of that could happen. And so I was like, what am I going to do? So the first thing I did is I postponed the launch. So originally it was due to come out sort of end May, early June. So we pushed the launch out. And then I was having a little bit of a whinge, let's be honest, with somebody in my world, a fabulous guy called Shane Hatton. And he called me on my own BS, actually, because he said to me, he said, Janine, you need to use your own IP. Mm-hmm. And I went, what on earth do you mean? And he said, you've got so many people that love your work that you have had face-to-face contact with in training rooms, or you've spoken at events for them, or they're people that just follow you online. Like, there's thousands if you add them up. Ask them for help, which is obviously one of the key things I talk about as a concept in It's Who You Know. And I said to him, but why would anyone help me? I mean, how many times have you had that running through your head as well? And he said they would, because they care about you. They care about your success. I challenge you to do it. And so it was literally like, as you've picked up, if someone gives me a challenge, whether it's a Spartan or a Tough Mudder, I literally go, okay, I will find a way. And first of all, I recorded the video, which I think you responded to, and put a post where I literally am sitting there talking to camera, asking for help. And I can remember this moment of literally going to press the button on the laptop. And in the book, I talk about lessons from Mildred. I talk about, you know, how we listen to these voices in our heads, and if we could just put them into a picture, we might be able to deal with it. And my voice I've named as Fred. He's a little green frog that sits on my shoulder. And Fred, he arced up. He went, "Who are you? Who are you to do this? Who's going to follow you? You're going to look stupid, Janine. All of these years of all this hard work, you're going to look stupid." He's going around and around. I went, "Oh, bugger it!" And I literally went, "Press." And then, what am I going to do? And honestly, the response, even now when I think of it, I've got goosebumps, Kerryn, because the response just blew me away. The amount of emails, I spent 3 days answering emails. I then decided to do a Zoom call for people. And again, I said, I think I'll have a Zoom call. If you want to join me, come along. And we had pages and pages and pages of people from around the world. Like, somebody got up at 3 o'clock in the morning to join this call. So I think we had London, Canada, South Africa, Nigeria, Australia, New Zealand, this incredible bunch of people that I'm so grateful to know now. I'm getting to know them, and this is an example of that reconnect, who have literally said, nah, we're here to help you, Janine. And so, to answer your question, how did the idea come up? Well, thanks to Shane Hatton for daring me to do it. And in terms of marketing the book now, it literally is a living and breathing experiment into the magic that I totally believe happens when we connect deeply, when we give people the space to use their skills, to have ideas and the freedom to do whatever they want, knowing that at its heart is the same objective and vision. And so, yeah, it's just phenomenal. I've got no idea where it's going to go. I've got some ideas of who I'd like to share this experiment with in terms of globally, to say, hey, look, we've done it. Let's take this to the world. But it's yeah, I'm loving it, and it's really lovely, in all honesty, to feel supported. There is nothing more vulnerable than putting your thoughts out to the world. And as I shared, 18 months of blood, sweat and tears, in this book, lots of personal story and professional story of being bullied in the workplace, having to make decisions about changing careers, moving countries, the burnout and exhaustion of being a mother and a leader in an organization. All of these stories, to put them out into the world, is a massively vulnerable thing to do. And I feel okay about it, because I've got this incredible cheer squad, including you, thank you very much, that I just know are there to support me. So if nothing else, as one of my supporters, the person behind the genius of the website said, this whole experiment has actually refueled my belief in human beings. Brilliant. My job is done.
Absolutely. Well, I believe anything is possible with a supportive network. Yeah. And I think also just taking the opportunity, any opportunity that comes up, you never know. Always say yes, and that's when I saw you, when you asked for help. And for me, I was like, well, will I get involved? And then I'm thinking, well, why wouldn't I get involved? I briefly touch on those four laws.
Yeah, and I might just take one step back and put it into context for people. So probably about 2.5 years ago, I started a podcast called Unleashing Brilliance. And the reason for that podcast, as you've alluded to, Kerryn, I'm passionate about the power of connection. I'm absolutely passionate about the opportunity that is created when people build incredible, amazing relationships that are more transformational than transactional, and how those relationships have the opportunity, the power to unlock innovative collaborations, and ultimately how, when we work together, as you've just said, we're able to achieve remarkable things. And part of doing that work over the last few years has been this curiosity through leaders that I've met and business owners that I've met around what makes the difference. Mm-hmm. What is the difference between somebody being great or excellent and then actually stepping up and really shining in their brilliance? And we all know these people. And to me, there was a tipping point, and I was trying to explore what this tipping point was, of where people get to a spot where they go, I'm doing okay. I'm good at my job. My business is strong. And they're at this stage, and there's this question around, how do I get better? And for some people, it's an innate desire to just improve themselves. And so that's where the podcast came from, where I know a lot of people because of my connection work. I reckon there's something in here that I can explore. And if I can bring these people into other people's lounge rooms or journeys to work and share their stories, I believe that in that will be insight that everyone can learn from. And so this is where this journey began. And I was interviewing global leaders, thought leaders, game changers, athletes, people that I met on courses that I went, wow, I love your story. I need to share this story. And through talking, what became really obvious to me was there was this tipping point. And the tipping point was ultimately became the fundamentals of these laws that I've written about in the book. Everyone I spoke to these laws in their own way. You know, I had a Ray Pittman, who's the CEO of a company. He was the CEO here at CBRE in Australia and New Zealand. He's now based in the US. And, you know, his tipping point was when he took ownership of his calendar and stopped being a slave to other people's demands. I had Paul Zara, who's the former CEO of David Jones here in Australia. And he talks about how as soon as he owned who he was as an individual and stopped faking it till he made it, things started flowing. You know, things around connection and things around leadership. Stephen Sheila, who was the former CEO of Facebook Australia and New Zealand, talks at length on a podcast, and I've put some of the content in the book, about being the oldest person in Facebook and how was he going to magnify other people and lead these teams. And so the 4 laws that I talk about essentially bring all this together in the context of the fact that the world around us is moving so quickly. You know, we're exhausted with the speed of change, and throw in everything that we're experiencing now as a result of the global pandemic, the impacts of change and demand that's happening in society, let alone the impact economically. People are starting to feel sort of exhausted in terms of my relevance, who am I going to become, can I do this? And how it comes out is self-doubt, imposter syndrome, comparisonitis. And my argument is, how on earth can you lead yourself, teams, organizations, your family, if you actually can't lead yourself first? If you can't unlock your own brilliance, how can you unlock the brilliance of other people? And how can we therefore get change happening? So the 4 laws that I talked, without giving too much away, law 1 is very much is about starting with self. And I talk about the need to become more visible, to own your spotlight, to consistently be who it is that you are through owning your character, having a focus on what you're trying to do, and ultimately going, this is me, this is who I am being, and absolutely owning who it is you want to become is law 1. Law 2 talks to the fact that you can have all that stuff, but if you don't actually look after this incredible machine that you've got, as in your body and your brain, to create the impact, how can you possibly function at your best? And so law 2 is about harnessing this energy that you have in the right way to ensure that you are making the impact that you want to make. Law 3 then goes to, okay, you've got your spotlight, you know what you're doing, you're feeling pretty good about yourself. Now it's about, you cannot achieve success on your own. This is your sweet spot too. You have to connect with intent and learning to engage in the right way, to surround yourself with the right group of people, and then how to unlock collaborations that matter is critical as a critical part of law 3, connecting with intent. And the final law is about magnifying your influence. Now it's about being heard. How do we get you out there such that you're not invisible and you're not forgotten, but actually you are leading your industry, your business, your team in the right way? And this is where we start flipping it slightly to not only be about yourself, but also about how you amplify and magnify the people around you. And one of the things I was sharing on an interview yesterday is this is a cycle. I really believe that brilliance is a practice. It is a bit like yoga or meditation, that it takes continuous reflection, readjustment, reimagination as to how you can get better. It's like Richard Branson said, the day we stop learning is actually the day we stop living. And it's the same with this concept. And so the book is written in such a way. So, for example, you know, if by the time you get to law 4, it's all going wonderfully and you're doing well, and then suddenly there's a challenge in your team or there's something not quite working with the business, you've got to go back to the beginning. You've got to go back to the owning your spotlight. What is it about me that I am doubting? Has my plan gone off track? Do I really believe in this? Where's my expertise? And so I've written the book so that it almost becomes a framework for your brilliance that you can keep coming back to over time. And it's jammed with ideas and exercises to do and thought bubbles and my story as I share, but also stories from so many other people from around the world.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. There's a lot of similarities in the way that we think and the way that we talk about building relationships and transforming lives. Really, it's just there's so many synergies. It's really quite remarkable. So the basis of the events that I run and my book is has the subtitle Conversations to Amplify and Inspire. But at the events we run, we have conversations. That's the whole focus, and we share knowledge and experience. But we also play cards, and you get dealt the cards like in life, and you have to deal with those cards the best you can. So if I was playing with you at the moment, I might deal you a card that says, if you were to start your career again, what would you do differently?
Oh, goodness. Hindsight is a wonderful thing, isn't it? And I think this is where you and I are so connected, because part of our work is gifting back to others what we've learnt through our lives. And so I have had a lot of time to reflect on this. And there's two things I would do. First of all, I would say to myself, believe in myself more. Stop doubting. Really stop doubting your capability. Step up, speak up, stop hiding. You're here to do something, and you can do it. And so I'd believe in myself more in terms of if I could go back to the start of my career. And the other critical thing I wish someone had told me is surround yourself with a network. Get the right people in your world. Find that mentor. Find, even if it's just one person that you can share your goals and your dreams with, and what the big ambition is, and that person that can take you under their wing and guide you and support you and help you get there. It's interesting, somebody was asking me about my life, like the journey to here the other day, and they said, Janine, what's really interesting about you, you've almost become the person that you wish you'd had at the start of your career. And I think that's what I'm talking to Kerryn, that's what you need. You need somebody that believes in you, that has your back, that will challenge your thinking, that will open doors for you, that ultimately there's no hidden agenda in it for themselves, apart from seeing you live your dream. And I wish I'd had that at the age of 21.
Yeah, I think that's very, very true. And I suppose the other thing is that if we had, then we wouldn't have learned all the lessons we have along the way. So that's the chicken and the egg, really, isn't it?
It is.
So one of the other questions that you might get was, what does success look like to you? And I think you may have just touched on that anyway, but...
Yeah, I think this has changed over time too, if I'm honest. I think at different stages in your life, success is different things. And obviously, as a mother of 3 small humans, adults, although they're not small, they're small adults, they're like 12, 14 and 16. Success ultimately as a mother is them to grow up into the adults that they want to become, and to grow up as beautiful human beings who understand that they have a role to play in society, and that they're safe, and they actually grow up to live those dreams is my big wish. From a professional perspective, really it is about being able to help other people, as many people, be who they want to be professionally and fulfill their dreams. I am so sad at the amount of people that are almost becoming the robots of life, going through the motions, exhausted, stressed, unhappy, feeling like they could have been something else. I mean, when does that happen? When do your childhood dreams disappear? And there's so many people that are going through, that are almost becoming the robots of life. And my wish is to unlock the understanding that we are humans of extraordinary potential who have the chance to become who they want to be and to change whatever they want to change. And that really guides my work. It's literally why I say yes and I do as much as I can, because ultimately it's about other people's success. It's all about other people. And to that end, you know, my bigger part of this is to be in a position where I can give a group of other people the chance that I was given. So at the age of 18, coming from a massively working class family, there was no way I'd have been able to go to university if it hadn't have been for the government who paid for my education and paid for my 4 years at uni. And that provided almost the catalyst to enable me to be doing what I'm doing, because otherwise I'd still be back in that village doing I don't know what. But it gave me this opportunity, this gift of more. And so my ultimate dream and my big vision plan is to be in a position where I can actually gift that opportunity to other people, to help other individuals that have dreams that potentially can't see a way to get there, to give them that leg up, that little opportunity, that open the door, and that key that they need to unleash their brilliance. And if I end my days being able to do those things, I will be a very, very, very happy individual.
Yeah, as I say, there's so many alignments with us. You know, my business is called Your Time Matters because you have one life to live and one opportunity. And the tagline is learn, grow, achieve, because you learn about yourself and others, you grow your knowledge, your connection and your network, and you achieve whatever it is that matters to you, because that's the ultimate thing for a life, is to achieve the important part.
Yeah.
So I'm so looking forward to the mail coming next week. It's been fantastic to talk to you today, and I continue to support this vision and this opportunity to support you, and hope we get to celebrate in person one day soon. And I wish you every success, and thank you so much for your time today. It's been wonderful.
Well, thank you, Kerryn, for creating the opportunity. I also want to congratulate you for your commitment to your work, for the impact that you are no doubt having on the people in your world and the ripples of change that you're creating around you. It really is togetherness that will drive change. And I love the fact that we are now part of each other's world, because that's two people trying to do the same thing, which will have even more impact. So I'm really, really glad to know you even better now.
Lovely. Thanks, Janine.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.